Greetings friends, Alex here. Quick little mini discussion. We'll see how long this goes on for, but I'll keep myself short on the following idea, and it's just struck me as I've sat here kind of racking my brains on things to speak to you guys about. You are more likely to be successful by being consistent even if you don't have a plan, versus having a plan and not really caring that much about being consistent. What do I mean by this? Well, I had a realization earlier that a lot of my successes, in fact 95% of my successes in life so far, have come out of sticking with something on a fairly regular basis, and in most cases daily, and experiencing the rewards of that consistency, whether it be direct rewards from just what the accumulation of various activities done every day bring. So it could be writing or speaking to people or reaching out to new people or exercise. That's a sort of direct result. But it's also struck me that consistency tends to do a very good job of revealing to you the way forward without needing to plan stuff. So what do I mean by that? I mean, you're pretty much guaranteed to stumble on success when you stick to something for at least 30 days. There is very little that you can do every day for 30 days that won't lead to something good. Obviously, bar the obvious, criminal acts and insane acts, right? There's very little. If you just step into something, use your inclinations, follow the things that you are interested in, follow the things that you're seeing around you that encourage your curiosity. See, I don't know what's going on here. Look around you and see what people are doing that is piquing your interest, and do as they do if that helps. But don't expect something to see. A lot of people, and I still fall into this mistake sometimes. I'll be sitting in a cafe and I'll be planning out, my excited dreams and plans, and I'll think that just by sitting there with a cup of coffee, my brain buzzing on caffeine, that I'll be able to decide on a really clever business idea or a really, really unique, intelligent project idea that's going to make me loads of money and it'll happen overnight, that kind of thing. Not even necessarily happen overnight, but I think that and I always fall for this, I think that I'll be able to predict my success just by sitting there planning it. And it rarely happens that way. What has tended to happen is that when I just make a commitment to be consistent in something, it could be painting birds every day for 30 days. It could be, as I've done recently, this year, for example, I've gone really all in. I've put all my chips in writing a thread for Twitter every day, which is essentially a list. I've sat there and I've written a list, and that has turned it, and I've done it every day for a good 250 days. And I haven't really given much thought around what that's going to lead to, what kinds of opportunities are going to be created by doing it. I didn't really think of any of that. I just thought, hang on a sec, I've written 10 threads in a row and things seem to be working. Things seem to be clicking. I seem to be getting more creative as I do it. I come up, people are asking me questions around, how do you come up with all these ideas, Alex? And I'm like, I don't know. The more I do it, the more ideas I get. But it's also leading to all kinds of other things coming through, messages coming through, DMs, people asking me to do work, people asking me to get on podcasts and do talk. I mean, the opportunities come as if you're, as they do when you water the ground and you put seeds in the earth, and you do it every day and you allow sunlight to touch the seeds. just by showing up every day. And it is obviously becoming a cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason. By doing something every day and not necessarily knowing what it's leading to. So this is basically arguing a case for not bothering so much about goals, though I still enjoy doing them because it inspires me about life. It inspires me, keeps me motivated about what the opportunities are. But I no longer really see goals as ways that I'm structuring my life anymore. I don't see goals as a means or a tool anymore to plan my life. I see goals as a means to excite myself about life while I am busy being consistent in a handful of things. Make sense? So that's my call to action for you guys, is first of all understanding the beauty and the power that comes with the attritional energy from doing something over and over again, putting in the reps, repetition every single day if you can, to do something that not only improves your skills but gets you in front of other people, gets you online, gets you sharing, gets people aware of you. And to expect it to be slow to start with, just like it's slow when you start pushing a wheel in motion, everything is slow and it doesn't seem as if much is happening, but that's the nature of inertia and energy. You don't see much going on in the initial stages, but it starts to pick up. And when things start to pick up, you start getting feedback, you start getting insights that pop up in your mind about things because you're getting information. So when you start getting more data coming through, you start getting, more engagement on your posts, you start getting people asking you questions, you start seeing what's working with your work, and you start to make more connections. And that's when things start to make sense. So the more you do, especially the same thing over again, that's the key thing about consistency. Is the reason everyone's banging on about needing to be consistent is because it's not easy, and it tends to involve doing the same thing over and over again, not multiple things daily. It's the same thing. It's strengthening the muscle. And when you do the same thing, you're giving yourself an unfair advantage, given that most people don't do the same thing over and over again, apart from eating pizza or brushing their teeth. You are basically digging a hole deeper than anyone else, which is creating it's creating a disparity, right? That you can I'm starting to talk nonsense now, but when you've got a deeper hole and you've got something that you can really work with, you can grab onto that. You're not working on a level playing field, so you can see what's working, what isn't working, and that is all the guidance I've ever really needed in terms of knowing what's worth doing, knowing where the next steps are. You're not going to see any of that information until you create consistency, until you've gotten over those initial humps and hurdles that take a while and take patience. But once you get above that crest of the hill, through being consistent, you're going to start getting information that is going to be all the planning you need. So to go back to the initial statement that I'd made, you don't need a plan if you're going to be consistent. It does to some degree depend on what business you're in, what industry you're in, that kind of stuff. Yes, I'm speaking predominantly to content creators and entrepreneurs and things like that. And yes, having an outline for a plan, if you're running a business and you've got a team under you, then yes, that's going to help. But if you're not sure where to start and you're not sure whether to rely on goals or systems or whatever it is, there's a lot of power in just committing to do something daily, every day. Same thing, isn't it? And using the consistency process as your strategy, and not feeling the need to get hung up on planning, pre-planning, and sort of setting everything out in a blueprint before you go, because a blueprint is essentially like a map. It's very different to consistency. But when you're consistent, the map emerges from that process. I'm going to stop talking now, guys. I hope that was helpful. I will be in touch with another video very soon. Make sure you're subscribed wherever you're listening or seeing this through, and I will see you in the next video, guys. Take care.